When I was in school, I saw bullying, I watched bullying, and I'm very, very embarrassed to say that I guess probably beginning in ninth grade, I bullied some other kids. Usually verbally, very rarely physically, thank God. I don't know that one is worse than the other. I mean, physical stuff can break people up, but mental stuff can be bad. There was a boy who I gave a nickname to. And the nickname was Mr. Legs. I made up a song about him, Mr. Legs, Mr. Legs. No one can stop him now. And it was just because he had long legs. Stupid, hurtful. And I sang it every time he came by. And I feel just awful about that. He finally told someone, a friend of mine, a woman who now lives in Alaska, happily married, really lovely lady. And she told me when I went to go visit her at her ice cream store, she said, you know, you ruined his life. Oh, come on, it was a nickname. Todd. People call them that to this day. To this day, this was after high school that Leah told me this. There's another incident, and this again, shameful. I don't even know what, what gets into the head of teens? There was a kid at school who had a t-shirt that had a stain on it, and he wore it. And one day I said, hey, there's a stain on your shirt. He goes, yeah, it's my favorite shirt. So every day for I don't know how long, let's say you get a stain on your shirt. And because I was voted to be class speaker as a senior, because at one point I was captain of the football team, I was a wrestler, I was a loudmouth, and I was boisterous and entertaining to people, that took on a life of its own. And years later, and I'm talking about, let me think, 1986, probably 3 years later, I was in Seattle on a date. And I know exactly the restaurant where I was at. It was an Italian restaurant in Ballard. And a guy came out to give us water and to ask us, if we wanted any appetizers. And he came out like 5 minutes later and said, sir, ma'am, I'm going to have someone else wait on you. Okay. He said, because you're Todd Herman, right? I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, you ruined my life. I can't wait on you. I said, oh my gosh, what did I do? I had a stain on my shirt. You said that to me, and I was a sophomore. And I heard that through my entire high school career. I heard it at graduation when I walked across the stage. Someone yelled, you got a stain on your shirt, as I graduated high school. I've never forgiven you for that, and I shouldn't wait on you, so I'm not gonna. And here I am on a date. I said, I am so sorry. I don't know why I thought I had the right to do that to you. Now, that's me. I faced a little bullying, not much. I watched people go through it in a very awful way, but there's a key way that in this generation, bullying is worse. It's because it never goes away. That kid had to live with the sounds and the memories, but in one key way, it never goes away, and we need to recognize this. There are things that you want to go away. Sometimes it's very difficult to get them to go away. I'll never forget when I had a Jaguar that I purchased from a friend of mine, got it cheap. Cheap-ish. It was a Jaguar. And I made myself a promise. I'm not going to have any food or drink in here. That lasted a good couple of days. And then I was drinking at this time this garbage called muscle milk. And it's a terrible supplement. I was drinking this muscle milk, and some of it spilled onto that carpet of the car in the summer of Seattle, and in Seattle summer. And I don't know what's in that stinks, but people could smell it outside the vehicle. It was that gross that you could smell it with the window shut. I made every attempt. I washed the carpets. I got out carpet cleaner. It just wouldn't go away. Recently, my friend Ben had something similar happen. His kiddo vomited in his wife's car. His wife was probably 8 months pregnant. So Ben made her go clean it up. How'd he get out there and clean? He didn't. He went and did the cleaning, wiped it up, but it wouldn't go away. It's summer in Idaho, 101 degrees, and that car lives outside usually. So Ben got the Oxyleaf 2 thunderstorm device that he'd use on his own truck. He put it in the car overnight, used the USB connection. In the morning, the smell was gone. Air filters can't do that. air cleansers can, air purifiers. That's what the Eden Pure Oxyleaf 2 device is. It's an air purifier. Here's how it works. It produces ozone. O3 molecules bond to the molecules that create bad smells, and they negate them, they destroy them, they obliterate them, they change their molecular structure so you will not experience the bad smells ever again. I'll save you $200 on 3 of these devices, whole home coverage. Go to EdenPureDeals.com, enter code TOD3, you save $200, and you breathe a breath of fresh air again. EdenPureDeals.com, enter code TOD3. I don't want to use his name because people do these things to have their names known, but I need to identify this alleged Georgia school shooter. So I'll use the initials CG. So CG was apparently ridiculed by classmates. He was called gay. This is according to his father. Now, his father is facing charges for, according to the media and the cops, what that's worth, of keeping his guns not locked up, of lying about them being locked up. And they seek to put him in prison for 98 years, the father, for what his son did. We can debate that one day. His son dropped the gun when his school resource officer came along and pointed one at him. So good guy with a gun stops bad guy with a gun. I'm not excusing what this kid did by any stretch of the imagination. Here's what I hope to bring to light. In the era of social media, lies last forever. Bullying lasts forever, and it multiplies. It can never be taken down. The kids I bullied who are now men my age, I would hope have maybe forgotten that, and maybe the sting has gone away, and maybe people have matured enough that they're not going to go repeat the horrible, terrible nicknames I gave those two. I pray to God, I honestly on my knees pray to God that that's gone. It's never gone on social media. I will never forget the moment that I realized how much this matters to kids, and I'll tell you about that in a second because I got to see it through the eyes of my daughter. Now, this shooter who took the lives of 6 people, CG, he was on a Discord account that's tied to him. This is a gaming account, and it's a place where people hang out digitally. And he'd expressed a desire to go out and kill people over the issue of so-called transgenderism, the lie that you're born in the wrong body. And these posts were attributed to Gray, according to a reporter. He said, I want to target an elementary school because I'm frustrated with the treatment of how so-called transgender people are treated. This treatment, this invention of the phrase transgender is a perfect place for people to park greater than themselves feelings. It's the perfect myth that if you don't speak the gender lie, you are actually obliterating people. You're destroying them. You're murdering them. You're eliminating them. You're making them non-persons. It's an easy thing for people to sign up to say, that's a cause I can battle for. And for people who've been bullied, it's very attractive, particularly if they've been bullied on the topic of sexual preference. And this guy had been called gay multiple times, again, according to his dad. Bullying is different. It's different this way. My daughter and I were on a ski trip once, and this is after I made the horrible mistake of allowing my daughter to have a cell phone. Horrible mistake. And yeah, we tried to put limits on it. And I've talked to you about what happened, and I won't belabor it. But text messages, what could be wrong with text messages? We came back from an incredible day of skiing. My daughter was feeling very competent. She skied for the first time, had absolutely no issues with it up and down the mountain because she'd been a speed skater. Balancing on skates was easy. Stopping and going on her skis was easy. Sliding up to the ski lift was easy. She looked like someone who'd skied for 20 years. She was feeling very competent and very happy. She'd been accepted by her cousins. She was worried about this trip. They've skied their whole life. What if I can't do it? So we got dinner. We were going to watch a movie. It was a happy night. And I stupidly said, yeah, you can check your phone. And I remember the sounds from the bedroom she was staying in. Oh, God. Oh, God, this is what people think of me? She'd been off this text chat for all of a day. And the girls started making up rumors about her. She wanted to spend the night correcting the rumors. She said, you don't understand. I don't have social media. This stuff is going to be on social media. I guarantee you this is going to be on all the social media platforms. I guarantee there's going to be screenshots of this. When I go to school Monday, everybody's going to see this because everybody's on social media. I have to dig into this. I have to start correcting these things now. She was 12. If the record of bullying that you had, if the things that were most harmful to you, the things that were said to you that were most harmful were written down everywhere you looked, maybe a loved one said something to you that's absolutely belittling, and you have to see it for the rest of your life and know that others see it, and people you haven't met are going to see it, and people who you might interview for a job are going to see it, and people you might date. You might meet someone special and want to date them, and they're going to do their social media research, and they're going to, wow, I didn't know that I can't. Kids don't belong on social media. Period. It's designed as neurological poison. Period. Anything that's neurologically addictive is poison. Unless it's the Word of God. Make that a neurological addiction. Satan will fight you on that, but think of that being a neurological addiction. You can't go a day without repeating the Word of God. I'm not defending CG at all. I'm not defending his dad. I'm making a clear statement. Anything neurologically addictive and negative like this doesn't belong in the minds of kids. And every single second spent on social media is a second not spent with the Word of God or with family. Eliminate it. Please make different mistakes than I made. Please get these stinking devices out of the hands of your kids. They do not need them. They are almost completely poison.